Yeah, it looks like they're bringing in some of the backups, let them get some playing time here. Usually this is the other way around. They're doing it because they're up by this score, not down, but still may need some of these players down the road.
And Hunter Bowling in at quarterback now, number 3. It was a spirited battle between him and a handoff up the middle. Carries made by number 32, and that is C.J. Holler. C.J. Holler with an actual carry. We got it right this week.
Well, he remembered to bring his jersey to this away game, so that's good.
C.J. wasn't the problem.
Oh, he was the one.
Nate
That's correct.
Stevens. We thought it was C.J.
I had it backwards there.
Yep. Oh, that's okay. So did I.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you wonder if Hickory would start subbing some players there, because number 4 for Hickory, Orizo is one of their starters. Looked like he was banged up there.
Bowling keeps the ball, rolls around the outside. He's pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That'll be a Turner Hauser Insurance first down, and it stops the clock. So Bowling with a carry. He gains 5 and a first down. Ball at the 40-yard line. Clock stopped, 1:31 to go. The outcome, though, has been pretty well decided.
Yeah, as I said, it's good to see this East Lincoln crowd kind of hanging out for their students, their athletes.
Yep. Holler carries it up the middle. Gain of about 5. Gets out to the 45-yard line. And the clock is rolling.
And now we're seeing some of those substitutes for Hickory.
Yeah, now Hickory's pulled out a lot of their first liners. Gwynn.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travel. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
With us today, we've got Stephen Church. For the show. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by CSI Mechanical. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Dennis Davis. We're going to have a good show tonight. Will Boykins is in the house. He's working on his dinner right now. And then we're going to, he's going to come here and give us some scores. Big night here on KTC Broadcasting. We got some quote-unquote upsets tonight. We've got some
Speaking of the Deacon, here he comes.
big games to talk about. And we've got Will's joining us here on the show. You can see all of our helmets there across the board. Burns won. Bessemer won. Shelby won over Cherville on 92.9 FM. And we're going to have some scores and more here in a minute. We're waiting on the radio folks to join us before we kind of get into too much of it. But we're going to welcome the folks back here and kind of talk about some of the games and scores as we wait on those radio broadcasts to join us. Tonight, let's go over, let's see, here's our scoreboard with cams. And of course I hit that button, it's wrong. Let's see. You just saw, I'm waiting on the final score to come across, but it looks like East Lincoln is going to fall tonight against Hickory. So we're going to have that final score and the story from that game coming up. We'll have highlights from 9 games tonight on the board, hopefully once everything comes through. So that game, they're in commercial right now, so I'm guessing that is a final there at East Lincoln if they did get that far. So you folks are looking at what is or close to the final. Hickory Red Tornadoes tonight, 49-28 over East Lincoln. We'll confirm that final here in just a few minutes. Let me get Will on. Good evening, Will the Thrill. Will, I got to find you a camera that's pointing towards you. I got one.
It's not one over there.
There's not one. Here, I also got to do this so I can hear you. Your mic was working. The folks could hear you, but I couldn't hear you. We'll get Will's camera working here in just a minute. Will, you want to read some of the – I tell you what, Will, read the scores in black for me because those are the finals for the folks watching online. Red scores are still active. So while Will does that, I'm going to work on getting his camera set up. You probably need that bigger, though, don't you?
Kevin's trying to show my he's playing with my age right now. Thanks. So
He'll get on, too. Maybe. If he keeps doing that stuff, he might not.
All right, it was Burns over Highland Tech, 74-0. Shelby over Cherville, 56-0. Crest over Ashbrook, 68-20. Well, they didn't play us tough this time.
Well, they did for a little bit, but the first 3 or 4 plays, it was all touchdowns.
I was going to say, not the same game I saw, did it? It was, let's see, who is this? That is Carver Community over Winston-Salem Prep. Pine Lake Prep over Mountain Island Charter, 8-0. That Carver score was 48-14. Freedom falls to Chase. How about that? Chase Trojan.
Yeah.
Freedom falls to Chase.
Speaking of
Never
falling.
mind. That was just Kevin knocking stuff over. Freedom falls to Chase 23-20. It's a close game. West Lincoln wins over Bandies 36-28. Old Terry and them Vale boys are doing pretty good right now. Maiden over East Burke 36-22. Newton Conover over West Cardwell 47-14. It was AC Rental Rockets over North Buncombe 50-0. Drawn Wildcats over Owens 38-0. West Henderson over North Henderson 54-16. Sun Valley Spartans over Alexander Central 48-0. Watauga 56. North Davidson 14. And let's see, that's the South Point Red Raiders 48 and Cramerton Storm. Stuart Cramer Storm
0.
Stuart Kramer Storm.
Yeah.
One more time. Stuart Kramer Storm.
0.
0.
0.
Zilch.
There was no storm
There's no
tonight.
storm.
It was a peaceful night.
It was a
Hardly a breeze blowing.
well, hardly anything going on. So that was the scores that are finished. Still waiting on a bunch of scores. I usually have these in by now. Still waiting on the score from Polk County. I'm imagining Polk County pulled that off 32-0. Right now is what we have. That game should be over. Should have a final on that soon. Henderson Bearcats 68, RS Central 20. RS Central 6. That score is not an official final, but I think they all should be in finals at this point.
Well, we could have got that score 2 hours ago too. So I don't mean it's up to date.
I just said that. Brevard 47. East Rutherford is 15.
What you got?
We just got the Crest guys off the air just now, so we'll be waiting for them to call in. And who else is calling tonight?
Well, I should have 9 callers. I just text Matt. Matt, we didn't broadcast the West Lincoln game, but he said he may give me a call here in just a few minutes and let us know as soon as JP gets in there to pick him up on the phone. We're going to have him call on that. So that's where we're at right now with that. So we're going to have callers from Burns, Bessemer City game, Shelby, Crest, Hickory, maybe Kings Mountain, but that also Chase and Lincoln, and so we've got it covered. Will
we got any highlights?
Yes, we're gonna go over there in just a little bit. I'm waiting on JP to get down the hall so we can play a commercial and get a little bit more organized. And we're gonna get Matt. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna try to get Matt on the score right now. I don't know if Andre, if you can try changing the channel. Final score. Late score, Statesville wins 18-14
What?
over North Lincoln.
What?
Oh, wow.
So there's your
18-14.
All right, I'll let y'all go over some more scores as we get them back on the radio. Andre, if you hear them, Andre, if they have anything you want to correct them on, feel free to correct.
All right, we'll just start at the top again. And this game is final. Burns 74 over Highland Tech, 74-0. Bessemer City Yellow Jackets was leading Thomas Jefferson Griffons 47-13. This game's final. Shelby 56, Cherville 0. Crest 68, Ashbrook 20. That game is a final. Look, we got Hickory, Red Storm 49, and East Lincoln. East Lincoln 28. Sorry, I heard all that noise over there.
Yeah.
Got Kings Mountain 35 and Hunter Huss 0. And I think we have a caller we're trying to get on right now. Who we got, JP? Oh, okay. Well, they don't know. They're trying to figure it out in there. So we
just work here. We don't own the place.
Don't have a store.
Hey, Matt. Hello, Matt.
No.
Nope.
We can hear you, but I don't think they can hear you.
Hey, Matt. Are you there? through the door.
Oh,
up scoring, but it set up the game-winning touchdown run. He was just all over the place on defense as well. I believe he came up with an interception in that second half. He was really the difference maker for West Lincoln. I texted Kevin. He literally got carried off the field by one of his coaches, like scooped him up in his arms and carried him from one sideline all the way back to the West Lincoln sideline. And I thought he was done, but I guess it was just a cramp, a bad cramp or something. They stretched him out on the sideline, and he got back in there, and he finished the game for him. He was outstanding.
All right, Will.
I can't. Matt, so that was I didn't catch the first. We couldn't hear you. Which player was that you said got hurt?
Jalen Winnix. He looked like he was hurt. They carried him off the field from one side. Like the coach literally scooped him up in his arms and carried him from the Bandy sideline all the way back to the West Lincoln sideline. But I guess it was just a bad cramp, and they didn't want the timeout. They wanted to get their offense back out there and get going, so they carried him over to the sideline and stretched him out, and he was all right. He came back in, made an interception on defense, and then broke another long run on offense. So fortunately, he was okay, and he was the difference in the game for West Lincoln. He was outstanding.
Well, Matt, you had two teams that were undefeated going into this game, and quite frankly, Bandy's seemed to have a tougher schedule than West. What was your take on the game tonight that enabled West to come back and win this game 36-28?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, like I said, Winnix made those three big plays in the second half. The first play after halftime, a 60-yard touchdown run, gave them the lead. And then he broke another big one for about 70 late in the game that set up the game-winning touchdown. And he also had that interception on defense. But really, I mean, it's just what West Lincoln does every week. I mean, just smash mouth football. They know what they're going to do. They don't make mistakes. I think Bandy's threw 2 interceptions in that second half, and one at the very end. They got the ball back down 8 with about 2:15 left to play at their own 15-yard line, and they had a holding penalty on first down, which set them back, and they were really never able to get anything going. And they had a 3rd and 10, I think they had, and they tried to throw it over the middle, and it was intercepted. I think by Ponder's son, actually, Drew Ponder, I think is the one who came up with it. And that was with about a minute and a half to go, and that sealed the game.
Well, that sounds like a typical West Lincoln type of a game, the West Lincoln running Rebels versus the Bandy's Air Trojans. And it seems like the running game was superior tonight and a pounded-out kind of game. Tell us a little bit about what you saw in terms of the defense in this game.
There wasn't a whole lot of it, aside from the 2 interceptions that West Lincoln came up with in the second half. I mean, it was pretty much, up and down the field for most of the game. Really the only thing that stopped either offense was a mistake here and there. Bandy's had a couple drops early in the game that kind of slowed them down a little bit. And then West Lincoln had a pretty crucial penalty around midfield after Bandy's had taken the lead, and it looked like that was going to give Bandy's, some momentum and maybe they could distance themselves. But, the defense for either side, didn't make too many stops. But obviously West Lincoln came up with the big turnovers when they needed to with the 2 interceptions, one by Winnix, and then Drew Ponder, I believe, got the last one at the end of the game.
Well, that's why I asked about the defense, because you mentioned 2 interceptions, so I didn't know if there was a game of turnovers that allowed West Lincoln to pull ahead, but it sounds like they were the ones that were giving up the turnovers, but were still able to come out on top.
Yeah, just those two it was just the two Bandy's turnovers. I don't think West turned it over at all. I think they were that was really the difference. I guess those two interceptions that Bandy's threw, and West Lincoln was just steady as they always are. Don't make too many mistakes, and hit a couple of those big plays with Winix, and that was ultimately the difference tonight.
Well, I'm sure somewhere over in West Lincoln, Terry Reinhardt is rejoicing tonight. You can hear all about it in the morning.
Matt, who you
Matt, we did just get a final across the board. Bunker Hill won 45-37 over Lincoln.
Ain't nobody
Wow.
the code. Nobody even played defense in that game.
Now, come on, Will.
All right,
Well,
Matt, another score. I know you cover up there around the teams in Lake Norman. Statesville wins tonight 18-14 over North Lincoln.
okay. What was the East Lincoln final?
49-28 Hickory Red Tornadoes.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
It was close, and they just pulled away at the end. It wasn't like a 21-point blowout or anything like that. It was back and forth the whole game to the last.
But that certainly shapes up that conference, Matt, with Hickory now in the driver's seat in regards to advancing in positions for the playoffs and things of that nature. But it's still early in the season, so watch out for East Lincoln to come back.
Yeah, they're going to need Hickory to slip up. We'll see what happens. A lot of people thought that was kind of the conference championship in week 1 here tonight. So, but there's a lot of football left, like you said. We'll see how that one plays out.
Who in that conference, Matt? Who is left for Hickory Red Tornadoes that could possibly? I don't think they could possibly.
They're better than North Lincoln, but you never know with that option offense could maybe give them some problems if North Lincoln can take care of the football. Statesville doesn't seem to have a whole lot of offense, but the defense might be there. And then I think North Iredell has maybe surprised a few people early in the season, but I don't know that they're ready to go take out Hickory. It would probably have to be, Hickory having an off night in one of those games to get caught slipping. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
This would have been this is my take on it. This should have been the last game of the year, last game of the regular
that would have made
season.
more sense.
It would have made.
That's what I was thinking earlier. I was just looking through the schedule on my way out here and listening to you guys on the pregame show, and that's the way they should have done it. It's kind of anticlimactic in week 1.
Yeah, I get that. So, that conference, Statesville, North Lincoln, East Lincoln, Hickory, and what's the other one? North Iredell?
North Iredell. And then there's three others.
West is undefeated right now.
West Iredell is undefeated.
They're 3-0.
Okay, West Iredell.
West Iredell's 3-0, and they're leading the game right now, 42-35. You got North Lincoln, North Iredell, Statesville, Fred T. Ford, and St. Stephen's.
But
who's West Iredell playing?
Fred T. is
St. Stephen's.
Oh, okay. Well, that might be a faulty 3-0 there then, if they're only up a touchdown on St. Stephen's.
They might be putting in a valiant effort tonight, Matthew.
You never know. You never know.
All right, Matt. Thanks. I know you got some work to do and some driving as well. I appreciate you calling us and doing the video. And Matt's got some highlights on it. We're going to pull those highlights here in just a little bit and go over and do some highlights here on the postgame show. Thank you, Matt, for giving us a call.
No problem. Y'all have a good night.
All right, Matt Chapman. He was tonight at the West Lincoln Bandies game where the West Lincoln Rebels win 36-28 over the Bandies Trojans. All right, JP, who we got now?
We got Robbie Roop.
All right.
Rob Roop's giving us a call back from Ashbrook. Well, I guess he's on his way back from Gastonia somewhere. 68-20, the Crest Chargers win tonight. Rob, you guys be careful driving and talking.
Yeah, guys, it was one of, it was what it was tonight. I mean, you go out, you take care of business, beat the team like you're supposed to. You feel like you're better than, and that's what Chris did tonight. They come out pretty healthy, and put 68 on the board, got some guys in the second half. Some freshmen and sophomores got some playing time at the varsity, which is always good for down the road. But, only 20 points given by the defense, and some of that, Crest had a fumble, gave Ashbrook some great field position. One of the touchdown passes, me and Coach both thought when the kid threw it, was throwing it right at four Crest defenders. They tipped the ball and it just landed in the receiver's hands, and he took off for a touchdown. So I think some improvement tonight for the Crest defense. But, guys, this offense, once they get rolling, they're hard to stop.
Offense and special team.
Yeah. Green had a touchdown as he was able to run one. And, again, once those guys get their hands on the balls, they get it into space. And when you talk about Green, went for over 100. Adams went for over 100 tonight. I think this is the first night that Ashbrook's given up 100 yards rushing. They'd held all their opponents to less than 100 yards rushing. For the first time, they got 100 yards, over 100 yards rushing for Crest tonight as well. So did it in several ways. And, you move on to next week and take on Stuart Kramer next week and just try to stay healthy and keep progressing. And, you got the Red Raiders in 2 weeks. You don't want to look ahead, but I think there's going to be a little bit of that going on, especially for the fan bases and whatnot, knowing what those teams have ahead of them.
Well, Robbie, traditionally, when we've went to Ashbrook or Ashbrook's come to Crest, they have always played Crest a very tough game. Crest just got up big, got up early on them, and I think took some of that steam out of them. My question is, people that, ask us questions, they talk about Crest, what an offensive weapon that they are. And then they say, but they don't have very much defense. We saw them let Ashbrook have 20 points tonight. You were there, Robbie. Can you sort of tell us how that flow and everything was going? Did they give up 20 points or did Ashbrook earn 20 points?
I think Ashbrook earned 20 points tonight. It was interesting because when they had the coin toss, usually you defer, most times you defer to the second half, but if I'm a team right now, I may want, and especially if I'm Ashbrook, I was thinking maybe they take the ball and not give it to Crest. Crest gets it off, and these 2 plays, they score a touchdown. I was thinking they would take the ball, try to run it a little bit more. It really surprised me, guys, with this Ashbrook team. They are huge. I'm talking about across the line, it's grown men playing football. And I really thought they would have closed it up and just pounded the football at Crest over and over and over again. And they started trying to run some things to the outside, and that, plays right into Crest speed, going out there. So was surprised by that a little bit, but I think those points were earned by the Green Wave. I think it was a positive step forward for the Crest defense.
Well, I was listening to you and Jeff Jones, and you were talking about exactly what you just said. If they had tried to pound it up the middle, their chances of getting yardage was much better than going to the sides where the Crest speed could shut them down, so to speak.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they chose not to use their strength, as you pointed out, which was a huge offensive line?
Me and Jeff talked about that off the air, and he made a great point. We're at a time, guys, in football where it's just not sexy anymore to line up and pound the football. And everybody wants to be able to spread it out and throw the ball all over the field and do a bunch of things. And we're just to a point where in the game of football where you just don't seem to do it, teams doing it that much anymore, and they really don't play to those strengths. And I think that may be a lot of it. You don't want to be that team where at 3 yards in a cloud of dust, you want to be prime time. And like Deion's taking to Colorado, that's what you want to be now. And it's hard to get kids convinced to play that kind of grinded out style.
So what you're saying is, in effect, if the coach, he can say, well, they've only scored 12 points against us all year. That's great. But it's what's over in the W column that really counts.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Dennis. That's it. So, but guys, let me get off here. We're trying to get through all this traffic. I want to touch in with you for a minute, and we'll load it back up and let Cleveland County do its thing again tomorrow night, because it's like it was a pretty successful night for Cleveland County offenses this evening.
I think Burns may have put up a point or two, and they actually outscored Crest tonight, 74-0. and Crest only had 68. So,
Yeah.
what can I say?
Hey, what was the final of that Kings Mountain Husk game?
I think it was 41-0.
Okay.
Was the
All right.
final of that game.
Last we heard it was 21-0 at halftime. So it kind of went the way I thought it would go. So, all right, guys, well, keep up the great work, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate it.
All right, see you. All right, bye-bye.
Hey, Dennis, I get reading some numbers. 44, 49, 53, and 68.
And you're not talking about lottery numbers.
Absolutely not. But I might play those numbers.
Yeah, you might play. Well, Crest has evidently played those numbers, if you will.
They plays that numbers
But
once or twice.
let me just interrupt for a second here, Will, since you're talking numbers and scoring. Cleveland County tonight, Steve Degree, welcome aboard. Burns, 74 points. Shelby, 56 points. Crest, 68 points. Kings Mountain,
41.
only 41. They're the low man on the totem pole with 41. So, Cleveland County did pretty good tonight offensively, Steve. All right. Well, listen, we got another caller on the line here. JP, who we got?
The one and only Tom Sinafani.
Oh, Sir Tom from Burns.
You mean to tell me we don't have to wait till Saturday to talk to Tommy?
No, you can talk to Tommy tonight.
He's calling on Friday night?
He's still up. It's early.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, it's early. It's early, guys. Yeah, I've been listening.
Tom, are
I
you there?
didn't call up on all the scores. Appreciate you guys giving everybody all the scores. Trying to keep up with all that. Some interesting things going on, but wasn't real interesting at Burns tonight. I think it was 62-0 at halftime, and ended up being 74-0. And it's not the kids at Highland Tech. Our guys just took care of business. Jeremiah Norris 4 touchdowns. Johnny Johnson had a touchdown catch and 2 interceptions on defense. So a couple of guys that stood out tonight. But it's just not fair for those schools to have to play in that conference. And I think we're going to have another session tomorrow during Saturday morning sports talk about the need for football-only conferences.
Yeah, and Tom, I was just telling Steve and Will here, look at Cleveland County tonight. You guys had 74 points up there. Shelby scored 56-0. Crest 68-20, and Kings Mountain 41-0. There's a lot of points scored in Cleveland County tonight by teams that play football here. It's not just the Highland Techs of the world. It's that the Cleveland County football is very potent when it comes to putting points on the board.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Ashbrook gave up 68. I didn't think they would give up that many, but I know they're very, very talented. I've seen them in person. They're very talented on the offensive side of the ball, but to go in and to a Big South opponent and put 68 on them, that kind of surprised me. And I think Robbie makes a good point. I mean, if Crest is that good offensively, why are you not taking your big offensive line and trying to control the clock a little bit and keep them off the field? But I guess that's why I broadcast and don't coach. I don't have to make those decisions. But it was, like I said, it's the part of the season where, you play a couple of teams. It's not real competitive. I really feel in my heart of hearts that the Bessemer City game is going to be a little more competitive. As they've won a couple of games, they beat Thomas Jefferson, I think 34-0 tonight.
Yeah, they're improving.
So I think they're a little better this year. And that game in East Gaston, I didn't hear. Did East Gaston play tonight, and did they win? I don't think I heard that score.
I think they were off tonight. They already had 4 games in this season.
Okay. I didn't know whether they played tonight, but I think they're going to give us a little test. We're going to get tested as the season goes on. Of course, you got Shelby. That's definitely one that's circled, but it's just tough. It's just tough for Highland Tech to go out there with like 25 kids
Well, Tom,
and go against
for you guys
a
to
state
speculate
contender.
about in the morning. But if you took a Lincoln County and a Cleveland County and you had a mixed rank conference there with the 2A and the 3A, you could have a pretty good balanced conference there among all the teams that are in Cleveland and Lincoln County alone.
And they're all about the same size.
Yeah.
I mean, it would.
And the travel.
It would just. Yeah, and the travel wouldn't be that bad. I mean, your longest trip might be over there to East Lincoln. I mean, that's a pretty good little ride, but I think it would be good competition. It would be fair.
You know what?
And something like that makes a whole lot more sense.
I started to say, Tom, you know what's wrong with that? It makes sense. So North Carolina High School Athletic Administration would never do it.
So I
don't want to talk bad about the powers that be in Chapel Hill, but I mean it's just when you see a football game like that. Really, I mean I really felt sorry for Highlands kids that have to play that game. I mean, one time on a kickoff, a kid got hit so hard I thought he was going to get hurt, and that's another thing. I mean, on a serious note, when you're that overmatched in football, somebody's going to get hurt. I'm glad nobody got hurt tonight, but they need to do a little reflection and say, hey, the boys need to play competition that's a little bit more appropriate. We can do this. We can put this together. I know they're going to reclassify. I think not next year, but the next is when it will go into effect. So we got to do this conference one more year, and then hopefully in subsequent years it'll be a little better.
Well, Tom, I hate to tell you, but somebody did get hurt tonight, and I'm going to let Steve DeGree tell you about it. It wasn't a player; it was an official.
Yeah.
Don't actually really know. Hey, Tom, it was on the kickoff. One of the Cherva guys was engaged with one of our guys, and you know how the officials run up the sideline, and the official didn't see the kids, and the kids didn't see the official, and it was a big old hit, and I think maybe one of the kids' helmet hit the official right up under the chin, and I was looking at him. I don't think he didn't know where he was at, so they put the head thing on him and took him to the hospital. So let's everybody just pray for him. So we gather all our kids on the sideline and had a Reverend Davenport to pray for the young man. So I hope he's okay. It was just
I hope he's okay. And you can get hurt. You can get hurt as an official. I'll tell you that right now. You can get hurt out there officiating games. I've done a lot. Thank goodness I've never been hurt. I haven't done football, but I don't care what sport you're doing, basketball, soccer, whatever. You get in harm's way every now and then. So just hopefully he's okay.
All right, guys. I know you get the three guys sitting in here are Cleveland County boys, and Tom, you're a Cleveland County boy. I've got an anonymous text. Okay, I've got an anonymous text from a Lincoln. JP says he can't hear me for some reason. JP, I don't know why you can't hear me. My mic's on. You can't hear me? Do y'all hear me, Tom?
I can hear you.
Everybody can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I got an anonymous text from someone in Lincoln County. It says you Cleveland County boys need to grow up and man up and come across the line and quit playing some of these other teams.
That's what I just said.
Anonymous text.
Whoever
from
that
Lincoln
anonymous
County.
text is, whoever sent that anonymous text, Cleveland County ain't scared to play nobody.
Will, here's the anonymous text.
Nobody. Terry.
There's the anonymous text, man.
Hey, anytime you want to watch your Rebels down in Cleveland County,
he won't even
Cleveland
play
County ain't scared to
Burns.
play nobody.
Hey, West Lincoln and Burns are practically
The hot
neighbors.
dog sales at the West Lincoln and Burns game.
Oh man.
That's how we know you guys don't get up much. Because y'all call them West Lincoln.
It's kind of it's you can't take Terry very seriously, but I would like to see this problem get fixed. Like I said, I think it's 2025 when it goes into effect.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that some of these conferences, you need to. I know what they're going to do. They're going to reclassify, but really consider football-only conferences.
Yeah.
And then we can do other sports and then a football-only conference. There's nothing wrong with it. It can be done. If you can put a man on the moon, you can make a football-only conference. All I'm saying. So,
Well, Tom, if the
anyway,
if the ACC can go from coast to coast,
Right.
and meet in the middle to
If you-
play
if you
women's tennis and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. Surely we can work out something for a football-only
Yeah.
conference here.
Oh, what the thing
Yeah.
the thing I don't like about it is, okay, you got Burns and Shelby. These teams, Highland Tech, and these teams, when they get off the bus, they already know they're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they body
yeah.
language, by the second quarter, their body language is telling, let's hurry up and get this game over and go home.
Well, the problem is you got.
Yeah, I know.
If you're going to do the mixed conferences, you can't have a non-competitive lower conference going against the
Right.
higher. Like you guys are the top competitive of 2A teams, and those are the lower competitive 1A teams, and you can't have that. If you got competitive 2A and 3A, you can play, but that's just not what they've done. All right, Tom, you guys got an off week next week, then a couple more scrimmages, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Talk a little high school football. College football and more. I got plenty of bad picks with you on the highlights, so just letting you know.
All right. Appreciate that. I look forward to it in the morning. You guys do a great job. Appreciate you bringing us the scores. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. As Tom Sinafani, he was covering the Burns Highland Tech game tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and then we've got some scores to give you folks.
And we have Chip.
And while we take a quick break, I'm gonna let Chip walk over here actually and read these scores. I'm gonna give him something quick to do while I grab the stuff. So
You got to earn your supper around here, Chip.
So folks, when we come back, we're gonna talk to Chip Carter here about the game he was at tonight. Bessemer City tonight wins 54-20. But I'm gonna let him read the scores. Chip, just read all the black scores. And for the folks watching online, if you're listening on the radio, you can watch this show live on YouTube every Friday night. Red scores are not finals. The black scores are the finals. And I'm gonna hook some stuff up. We're gonna take a quick break as soon as Chip reads you the scores.
All right, thank you, sir. Real quick, running down the scoreboard. Burns beats Highland Tech 74-0. Bessemer City final defeats Thomas Jefferson 54-20. Shelby over Cherryville 56-0. Crest 68. Ashbrook 20. Hickory Red Tornadoes 49. They defeat East Lincoln 49-28. Kings Mountain shuts out Hunter Huss 41-0. Corvian Community, I hope I got that correct, 48. Winston-Salem Prep 14 in a huge, large scoring game. Pine Lake Prep 8. Mountain Island nothing. Community School of Davidson shuts out Bishop McGinnis 57-0. Starmount shuts out Allegheny 42-0. South Stokes 19. Elkin 16. Chase 23. Freedom 20. Polk County 32. Patton nothing. Hendersonville 28. RS Central 6. Brevard 63. East Rutherford 15. West Lincoln Rebels 36. Bandy's 28. Maiden 36. East Burke 22. Newton Conover 47. West Caldwell 14. Bunker Hill 45. Lincolnton 37. Avery County Vikings 7, Rosman nothing. AC Reynolds shuts out North Buncombe 50-0. Drawn shuts out Owen Warhorses 38-0. Mitchell defeats Madison 29-9. South Point 48, Kramer nothing. North Gaston 26, Forest View 20. Statesville defeats North Lincoln 18-14. Watauga 56, North Davidson 14. Sun Valley shuts out Alexander Central 48-0. Oak Grove 56, High Brighton 13, and West Henderson 54, North Henderson 16. We'll take a break, and we'll be back shortly.
Shelby Heating and Air. He's a friendly beast. He will clean and disinfect your duct system. Just give Shelby Heating and Air a call at 704-487-7877 and have them bring Dr. Beast to your home or business to clean and disinfect your duct system. See Shelby Heating and Air online at shelbyheating.com. Like them on Facebook too. They are there when you need them. Full Throttle Power Sports and Law is proud to announce the addition of Brian Lane to their sales staff. And Brian wants to take this time to invite his friends and former customers of Al Lane Motorsports in Lincoln to come see him at Full Throttle Power Sports and Law, featuring brand names like CF Moto, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Polaris, and more. See Brian Lane at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Law, online at ncfullthrottle.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Is your car's windshield cracking you up? If so, you need to see the windshield doctor. That's Carolina Auto Glass at 408 South Post Road in Shelby. Carolina Auto Glass can handle all of your insurance claims. Shop local, deal with Carolina Auto Glass. They do free estimates on site. Just call 704-480-1885 for Carolina Auto Glass. Located at 408 South Post Road in Shelby. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, where you get safety and satisfaction. Online at CarolinaAutoglass.net and see their page at WhatsAppShopper.com. Make your home better this fall and bring the best of the outdoors inside with Larson Doors from the Roundup store in Shelby. Whether you want to add light, ventilation, style, or protection to your home, Larson makes your home better with quality built and energy efficient Larson Doors. Now's the time to buy. Get a great deal from Larson and the Roundup store, 1610 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at roundupshelby.com. Hey, fall has arrived at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Hometown Hardware has mums and pansies. Plus, they've got a great selection of fall vegetable plants, too. Come check them out today. And deer hunters, Hometown Hardware has something for you. They've got deer plot. Get that big one this year after a stop in at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. See Howard or Kyle and leave with a smile at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, and see their page at whatsuppshopper.com. On the Go Quick Lube in Paulston is not just oil changes. They have tires for all cars with names like GT Radio, Hankook, and Toyo, plus interstate batteries and wiper blades. Of course, they do oil changes featuring Castrol, Motorcraft, and Rotella diesel oil, and they carry diesel truck fuel filters. Plus, they're an official North Carolina inspection station. For quick service with competitive pricing and professional technicians, head over to On the Go Quick Lube today. 3716 Falston Road, Highway 18 north of Shelby, and go Burns Bulldogs.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. All right, with us today, we've got Stephen Churka from CSI Mechanical in Shelby.
Thank you, Calvin. Give us a call today to take advantage of our fall train promotions from now going through November the 15th. Qualify up to $1,200 in rebates. Call us today to schedule your free estimate. 704-600-6267. Also, you can come by our locations for your Crest 50/50 raffle tickets. That's 410 South Post Road in Shelby, North Carolina.
It's hard to stop a train.
And welcome back to the CSI Mechanical of Shelby post-game show with our youth pastor, Kevin Hastings, our usher, Will Boykins, Deacon Will Boykins, usher. Oh, God. Just go on. I'm done. I'm done.
Chip's going to be.
Chip is the bishop. Chip Carter, the bishop. He actually wrote me a note with his name and what he is on it.
I figured it would help this time around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Chip, you just passed the smart test with that one because that would help out a whole lot around here.
Well,
with JP.
Your first mistake, Chip, was assuming that JP can read.
Well, he's got computer screens in front of him. I didn't.
That does not mean
they got icons on them.
Just watching pictures.
Hey, Chip, anybody can fake it.
Guilty.
Well, on the phone right now, JP, do we have on the phone?
Zach should be there.
Cousin Zach should be on the phone. He was up at the Hickory East Lincoln game tonight, and what was the game of the night here in probably North Carolina on our end of the state at least. Zach, you got us there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Okay.
close game early on, and Hickory pulls away late in the second half. Zach, you want to give us a little bit about how that happened?
Yeah, game, it was like 14-14. Then, for the most part, first half, Hickory got a little bit ahead. Looked like they was going to pull away with it in the first half. Got up 28-14. But East Lincoln pulled a double reverse flea flicker, threw one over the top for about 60 yards. Got it 28-21. Got them down, was holding them. And it was a 4th and 1 on the 20-yard line for Hickory, and they went for it on their own 20 at 4th and 1. Kind of got lost in the fray there, and the guy comes out, runs 71 yards, something, put them at like a 1 yard for a 1 yard touchdown after that. So they went back and forth, got 35-28, then 42-28. That was that big run for 70. It was like 71 yards to put them on the 1 yard line. So there was a touchdown. I've actually got it on video that the wide receiver for Hickory actually pushed off in the end zone, went out the back of the end zone, did not catch the ball, and they gave him a touchdown. So you got 2 touchdowns in there that could have made the game. So East Lincoln did look a little bit outmatched. Hickory is very talented across the board, got a really good running back. The quarterback did go down at the end of the third quarter for Hickory. I don't believe he came back in the game. They went Wildcat for the whole fourth quarter with the running back, Elijah. I can't remember his last name. He was really big running back, number 34.
Well, this game was played at Hickory, so, you get a little of that home court advantage there.
Just a little bit of home
court. A really good Hickory team, really good East Lincoln team. I watched the East for 3 games last year. This East team is not near as talented as that team, but they're not a bad team. If Hickory's quarterback doesn't come back and they go Wildcat law, that could be interesting. You're talking about could they lose a game coming up? Depending on what happened to the quarterback, nobody really ever said. I don't know if he cramped up, couldn't come back in the game, but for the whole fourth quarter, I don't remember seeing him.
Well, the reason we thought this was the game of the week, it's very early to have one of those like conference championship games because you still got a lot of ways to go. East Lincoln can come back even though they lost this game. Hickory could lose even though they won this game. What's your take on it?
I think both teams, Hickory, I think they're a little better than East, but East can keep their head up. They did. Kevin, you were correct during the broadcast. You said it wasn't a blowout. It looks like a blowout on the scoreboard. That was a late bloom for Hickory, so not a blowout. It was a close game. I still think Hickory's more talented. Terry Reinhardt's been preaching that on to us on Saturdays how good Hickory was. I saw it. They're about as good as East was last year, so that's pretty impressive.
Well, Zach, we like I said, we said this game would have matched up with like a Kings Mountain Crest or a Burns Shelby. It could have been a Hickory, East Lincoln game for the conference championship at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait on that now. But
I saw Crest live, and I saw Hickory live. That would be a really fun matchup to watch. Both of them can spread it out a little bit. They've got athletes all over the place. They got a lot of speed. That would be a fun matchup to watch. Would be Crest versus Hickory.
Well, I think the one that Kings Mountain, South Point, Crest are all concerned about was East Lincoln, and here comes Hickory in the mix now. So that's going to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah. What about the
fun night up there? Good, 2 good football teams. Unfortunately, somebody had to lose.
Hey, this is Steve Degree. What about the Abernathy kid? I had a chance to meet his father on yesterday. The Abernathy kid, I think he played nose guard, 56 or 50 something. How did he do tonight? I told his father I would give him a shout out.
For East Lincoln?
Yes.
He did really well. I've seen him in on a couple plays. I remember that number. Pretty stout boy. Kind of a Sapp body type, if you can remember old Warren Sapp. He's pretty good ball player.
I think his name is Jalen Abernathy. Yeah, I met his father yesterday, and so he said he's gonna listen to the show, and I told him I'd give him a shout out. And I thought East Lincoln would win the game, but
I didn't. I was talking to some people before the game. I'd heard enough about Hickory to think they were good. I called Hickory by 7 before the game, talking with some fans. And it was probably a 7-point game. It wasn't what it showed up. So I don't want to hold you guys too long, but I did want to give you a little update of what I saw. 2 good football teams. Both of them will probably do well in the playoffs.
Well, there you go. We'll expect to see both of these teams down the road somewhere.
Probably end up playing again.
Yep.
I think he's gone, but now
he can't hear me if my mic's not on. We'll see you tomorrow morning, Zach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Zach Mayu, with the Hickory East Lincoln update. Here you go, Steve. You said he's going to shout out and he was going to watch. How about we pull his player profile up for him on the internet and make Daddy proud? 6 foot, 240 pound junior
number
defensive tackle
53.
nose guard.
Yeah,
Jalen Abernathy.
That's Jalen Abernathy. I hope he had a good game and hope he got some good grades, got good size. Maybe he can make his father proud and go off to a college somewhere. So
I tell you what, they got some highlights here from last year or last few games. I guess that's how they do it. But I tell you what, folks, you want to watch the show or whatever, you want to tag us and like some of our stuff and hang out with us. We'll feature you here a little bit. We'll feature a little bit. So here's Jalen Abernathy.
Your 15 minutes of fame are waiting for you right here on the post-game show.
Forest View. Yeah, he probably did have a good game against them, if you guys can see the lights. All right, we're waiting on Jeff Miller. If you're listening, Jeff, go ahead and give us a call back. He was at I thought I saw him tweet from the North Gaston game earlier.
Wow,
but
what about that?
We'll see. I think that's what he said he was at. But
Jeff, I want to know what's up with North Gaston. Give us a call, man.
Yeah, we hadn't heard from Jeff this year, but I think that's the game he's at, the Forest View North Gaston game with the Wildcats winning 26-20.
I was just telling Mr. Davis over here how North Gaston used to be everybody's homecoming too, just like Drone, and they upbeat Forest View, so that got to be their first conference win, and I can't remember
years and years.
It had to be their first conference game, because like. That used to be Chris's first conference game, and Chris used to annihilate them. So, wow. Sometimes, things change around. In Forest View, I didn't think if Forest View didn't beat North Gaston, they might not win another game.
North Gaston improved.
Forest View, when it first came in, they was kind of a head knocker for several years.
Yeah, they had some pretty good players, though.
Yeah, they had a linebacker that went to Penn State that blew me up.
Jalen Moore.
That was on a kick return. I wasn't supposed to be in on that, and the kick returner couldn't get his. He couldn't. Steve, we're about to play the game, and the kick returner's like, I can't get my shoulder. He had the shoulder pads weren't tight, and we're making adjustments. And they're about to kick off, and like, Kevin, go in there. I'm like, I'll just go block somebody.
Yeah.
and so they see the quarterback rolling there. Who they gonna kick it to? Well, they kick it right to me. And the up back, Juwan, the guy that does our song, he was the other back. I swear to God, Juwan ran right by me and said, "Good luck."
Hey,
he goes to block. I'm like, okay.
Juwan's smarter than I thought.
But he hit me pretty hard on that one. But the worst one was we ran I was at wide receiver on him against Forest View. The guy he hit me, and Andre will laugh at this one because he was the one standing there when it happened. Quarterback threw a pass. It wasn't me, but he threw I had the short route. He threw an interception on the deep route. So I'm trying to make the tackle. Linebacker picked me off, smoked me. I hit the ground, and Andre and the two friends, they were standing about as close as y'all were, and they were pointing and laughing at me. I couldn't hear anything. I was just laying on the ground.
What are friends for?
Oh, he got me good.
You had that arm in the sound of your ears.
Oh, you heard it. Oh my God, he got me. I felt it laying on the ground. I kind of I army crawled to the sideline a little bit.
We got another caller.
He went to Penn State. I can't remember his name for nothing.
Yeah, we got Jeff on the line there, guys.
All right, Jeff, we got North Gaston over Forest View, Wildcats and Jaguars. What about them Wildcats? 3-1 this year.
Yes, very, very impressive season by North Gaston so far. And, when I interviewed their coach after the game, I said one thing that sticks out in their 3-1 record is not their wins, but their loss to East Gaston and how they hung with them for like an entire half, 14-7, and East Gaston is still undefeated. And, I figured after North Gaston performed as well as they did the past couple weeks, I knew that it would be a cat fight between Forest View and North Gaston. But let's also not forget, though, that Forest View missed some key opportunities early in the third quarter to put the game away. I mean, they had some dropped passes. One would have been for a touchdown. And then, of course, Forest View was picked off in the end zone one time by North Gaston. I mean, they each exchanged one turnover. North Gaston fumbled once, and then, Forest View threw that interception. But a lot of key missed opportunities for the Jaguars, but take nothing away from North Gaston. They're definitely on the upswing from the previous years, and they just won their first home conference game since 2015.
Well, I had a question about that. Steve just asked about that, Jeff, and you answered. But I'm looking at 2022. It says they beat Huss 20-19 on October 15th. I don't know if y'all want to check on that or not, because when you asked that, I went and looked for it. Was that non-conference?
It was at Hunter Huss, though. It was 20-19 back in 2021, and like I said, that was their first home conference win.
Gotcha. I didn't hear the home part. My bad, Jeff.
Oh, yep. I mean, it's all right. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, but you haven't been, Jeff. We haven't heard from you. So where have you been?
I tried to reach y'all a few weeks ago, and then, of course, I had that long drive from Burns a couple weeks ago when they played Kings Mountain, and then last week, with everybody else having a bye, I gave everybody at CarolinaVarsity.com's Facebook page, a poll. I said which one to go to, Ashbrook at East Gaston or Cherville at North Gaston, and the North Gaston fans outvoted the Ashbrook and East Gaston fans, so this ended up being my second time in a row covering North Gaston, and those fans really love their coverage.
Well, I hear those football teams in Dallas are doing well this year.
Oh, yes. I don't know how the Little League is doing. I know the Dallas North Castle Wildcats are doing much better. The Dallas Cowboys won last week, which I'm not a Cowboys fan, but
Me either.
Why are we bringing that up?
Calvin is.
I just want to let you know you just made Terry Reinhardt's night by saying the Dallas Cowboys won last week.
That's why I put that question in there for Terry Reinhardt.
Why are we even bringing that up right now?
Hey,
watch it.
We won't talk about the Panthers.
Y'all ever watch Steve over here? It's Tony Dorsett right here.
I got
mine stinks.
Actually, I have an Ed Too Tall Jones.
Nice.
Steve,
Ed Too Tall.
Steve, I cried when Ed retired.
Ed
When
Too
Too
Tall
Tall retired, I cried. He was my hero.
I tell you,
he went to boxing and got knocked out, but came back.
Sorry, go ahead.
Two key players to look out for on North Gaston is number 2, L.A. Knox, and then number 4, J.T. Lattimore. Those two kids can toe the rock, man. And then that quarterback is very precise in how he runs that offense. The passing is probably, the weaker part, but even then he's still pretty good with it. He hit Lattimore for a 60-yard touchdown, and that was one highlight that I forgot to get. I mean, I did not think they would have that big of a pass play, but they did. And that offense that they run is that offensive line is phenomenal. But I think they're going to run into a buzzsaw against Kings Mountain this week.
What's the most wins have North Gaston had in one season? Can you remember? I know probably back to AJ Blue.
I'm back to 14. I saw 4 wins on one of these.
Back to AJ Blue when he played. I'm just curious.
Well, 2007, and that was the last year they beat Forest View, and that was when they went to the state. I think they were 13-3 that year, losing to Catholic, South Point, and then Western Alamance. I think after that they've touched 6 wins back in 2013, but outside of that, they haven't had much luck, and I'm just hoping that I'm hoping that North Gaston can turn a few good years in because those kids deserve it.
Well, what kind of
And so-
offense are they running over there? I know, Jeff, they used to run something similar to South Point. Are they still doing that, or have they gone to a more conventional style offense?
They run mostly a double wing. I think when it's loaded, it's double wing, and when it's not loaded, it's wing T. But it's a double wing offense, and they got a couple other guys that can tote the rock also, and that defense was bend but don't break tonight. But they do run some spread also on offense, but not a lot. Their main bread and butter is grinding that clock and giving the other opponents as little opportunities as possible.
Sounds like South Point.
But I think South Point is a little bit more, methodical with how they run their offense. I'm not saying North Gaston isn't, but South Point, they're used to running that offense, so that's where they get the advantage.
All right, Jeff, where you got it? You know where you're going to be next week? What you covering yet?
Yeah, I think I'm going to cover Ashbrook at Forest View.
Ashbrook at Forest. You got an early prediction on that? Either team's got to win, do they?
Well, Forest View's got that win at Freedom a couple weeks ago, and Ashbrook has not won a game yet, so both teams are going to be hungry, but I'm going to probably go with my bias and say Forest View by 7 points. I think it's going to be close.
All righty. Jeff Miller, Carolina Varsity, Gaston County Sports, and follow him and check us out on Friday nights. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Is anybody else on the phone, JP? All right. We're going to go to Chip right now while he's sitting here. Chip, Bessemer City tonight, 54-20. You was in the house for that.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pull up some highlights for that as we go through it, as I'm trying to pull up our top 10 here in just a few moments. But we are going to go through that. But you want to kind of give us a quick how that happened or what happened in Thomas Jefferson tonight?
Yeah, it wasn't much of a game to begin with. Bessemer pretty much had control of it from the get-go. I heard y'all talking, and we just touched on it just a second, but I heard y'all talking to Robbie earlier while I was heading on my way over here, and the struggle between like a ground and pound offense that can control the tempo of a game versus a lot of times your kids are going to want to air it out and have the exciting offense. Well, Bessemer, the score at halftime, I'm trying to make sure I tell y'all correctly. The score at half was 27-0 Bessemer, and it really honestly could have been more than that. Bessemer ran the antithesis of a no-huddle offense. I mean, their quarterback basically went to the sideline, got the play, came back to the huddle. I mean, it was a very methodical is a good word to use for it. It was a very slow-paced, using up a lot of the clock, and the first half went much quicker than the second half did. And they took control from the get-go. They really seemed to have Thomas Jefferson's number. Thomas Jefferson just really couldn't move the ball much in the first quarter. Bessemer City didn't have that issue. They were able to move the ball. I think it was Anthony Smith, if I remember correctly. Trying to make sure I got the names correct here, but Anthony Smith for them, he had a tremendous night. I think he ended up having 4 touchdowns total, and he scored. He as well as Cameron Rice. Cameron Rice added a couple of touchdowns as well. But they both, Anthony Smith, they're starting running back for Bessemer. Really played broke a lot of tackles, able to hit the holes full speed, and so it was. Bessemer took control early on. The second quarter was very sloppy. You had fumbles on both sides. The other and things just really seemed to go. Bessemer's way. The balls that Bessemer City fumbled, they recovered.
Real quick, Chip.
Yeah.
I saw you got the homecoming. We'll go ahead and let you announce that. Did they get the announcement on the wire?
Homecoming queen, Miss Maddie Connor.
Congratulations, Maddie Connor.
Yeah, congratulations, Maddie.
Folks, again, if you got homecoming video, you've got band video, you've got cheerleader video, something you're proud of your kids, tag us out on KTC Broadcasting on What's Up Shopper, and we'll promote them here on the show. So congratulations, Miss Maddie Connor, Thomas Jefferson homecoming queen.
Also,
I did see them stand on the sidelines. I was like, oh, we're ruining their homecoming.
Yeah. So also want to give a shout out to Lola Kraft, daughter of Gardner Webb head men's basketball coach Tim Kraft. Lola was actually the fan of the game at the game tonight, so that was that was pretty cool. I got a chance to talk to Tim real quick, but yeah, the second quarter was sloppy again, as I was saying, but the fumbles that Bessemer City had 2 fumbles on the same drive and recovered both of them. They saved their own possession. Thomas Jefferson had a fumble in the second quarter, and Bessemer City recovered it. So they were just firmly in control. Thomas Jefferson was able to put some points on the board in the second half, but 2 of the touchdowns were late in the fourth. It was Bessemer was pretty much in control from the get-go.
Oh, Chip, since you mentioned Tim Kraft as a current Gardner Webb basketball coach, I'd like to give a shout out, if you would, to Jim Johnson, a former Gardner Webb basketball coach, great guy, math teacher, who passed away this week.
Suddenly, I mean, Dr. Johnson had started the semester teaching, and just had a sudden health issue that was very unfortunate. So the Gardner Webb family, thank you, Dennis, for bringing that up. The Gardner Webb family definitely keeping the Johnson family in their prayers.
Noah Kimbrell added a touchdown here late. Is that for Bessemer?
That's for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson scored. This is their second.
Watch that offensive line.
Touchdown.
Who are you blocking? 51.
It looks like everybody just got out of his way.
Kimbrell put.
You see that, Will?
Yeah.
Look at that. Watch it. Here he comes. Look at it.
He was a
Wait a
decoy.
Did he pull?
Yeah, he pulled the other way.
That's their center too, I think, Coach. Coach, I think that's their center.
That's a decoy.
Look at it. Looking.
We're gonna fake the pull and go the other way. Listen, y'all. Steve, write that down. Y'all use that.
Cut your hair.
Hey,
51,
we play them next week, so we play them next week. So
You're not gonna be tricked, are you?
Yeah.
That center pulls.
Especially if he pulled, he don't want to hit nobody.
Kimbrell was involved in all of TJ's touchdowns. He threw 2 and ran that one.
Okay. So. This is you said candidate for wrap up of the night.
I don't know how it transferred. It sure looked. I mean, that running back just gets stopped. It wasn't a hard hit, but the lineman did not let him go. Once boom and gone.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chip, the final score was what was it? 56-20.
54-20, I believe.
54-20.
Yes, sir.
Here's Thomas Jefferson with a pass at the near the end of the game. This made it 47-20 for them. Let's see.
Shout out to Gabe Zuniga there. Gabe actually goes to church with me, so I was happy to see him get a touchdown reception there.
Good. I made it 47-20. Congratulations on the touchdown, Gabe. I think we got one more. This made it 54.
Yeah, I don't know if these two teams have a little bad blood or whatever, but this was inside of a minute, and Bessemer was not taking a knee.
There's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, so
it goes back a little way.
Jefferson is it took them a while to beat us, and then when they did, they try to run a score on you, and you're like, okay.
Well, they apparently they returned the favor tonight.
Take all your losses.
That was Anthony Smith's fourth touchdown right there.
So Thomas Jefferson is the only one that's playing in a regular
conference. You talking about as far as the charters?
Yeah, because the rest of the charters are playing in their own conference.
For the most part, they kind of are. Highland Tech's not a charter; it's a magnet school, so it's not really counting. We should have David Potter on the line. Is that right, JP? All right, David tonight was at the big game. We've already talked a little bit about it. Hickory and East Lincoln tonight. So as long as we hit all the right buttons, David, you got us there. All right, David. I think what was it 19 straight wins that East Lincoln had before tonight's loss.
Wow.
So they fought tonight, 48-29. It wasn't a 21-point loss. A game. It was close the whole game, and then Zach was talking about some kind of questionable touchdowns that Hickory might have had. Do what?
You keep saying it's not a 21-point loss, but it's a 21-point loss.
Yeah.
Well, who was your players of the games and all that stuff tonight? As we like to recognize them here, for East, I guess. Well,
David, this is Chip. I'm just curious, and they on my way over here, I heard them talking about this game earlier. I mean, obviously, this was a little. This game almost should have been the last game of the regular season for both of these schools. But do you see anybody on Hickory's schedule? And obviously, I would think it probably might take Hickory having a little bit of an off night. Do you see anybody potentially in their conference giving them an issue?
Still got a ways to go under Nick Basil's son, who's moved over there last year. North Lincoln, they might give them some issues, but you don't know. And who won North Lincoln and Statesville?
Statesville won.
Statesville. The last I saw was 11-6 North Lincoln. So, what was the final?
18-14. It was still close. So, and I
yeah,
thought
they've always
go ahead.
Played pretty close games.
Yeah, because you were at North Lincoln with me. You were announcing North Lincoln last week. Is that correct? When they played East.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean they looked, and obviously, you know, I know East is still kind of in a rebuilding mode, but I mean North looked efficient, and they also made we talked about it last week on the show how efficient and how clean of a game they played. I think they only had 2 penalties all game, and I mean it would take that kind of effort to be competitive against Hickory, and again Hickory to be a little bit to stumble or have a little bit of an off night. But if North Lincoln can be as efficient as they were last week, I think that's that
might keep it close.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if you get close, anything can happen. It is high school football. Weird things happen, but I don't know. I think Hickory just has too many bigger bodies, and when they came out in that jumbo package. And East Lincoln's not small.
Yeah.
But North Lincoln is. Mm-hmm. They don't have a lot of size, so I can see them. And I'll tell you what, Brady Stover gets that ball out in a hurry. Mm-hmm. That kid for Hickory, the quarterback, really has a fast release, and they really use that quite well. It made it tough. East Lincoln has great players in the secondary, but it's tough to get up and cover that quick. I mean, it's snap, boom, ball's coming out.
I mean, that's pretty much what that's what McCarthy had Dak doing all Sunday night, or was it Monday night this week for Dallas? I mean, he was taking 3. I mean, it looked like a West Coast offense. He was getting the ball out quick. So.
Yeah, it was kind of a spread offense. I mean, they use sometimes those quick throws as like long running plays, but then again, they hit some. But he's got a great arm. He threw some nice passes over the middle, some down in the corner. We were on the 45-yard line on one side, and the couple of touchdowns you might have thought were questionable, or people were saying were questionable, they were down the far end of the field from us, so it was really tough for us to tell. There were a couple late signals, so who knows? From where we were sitting, we couldn't tell whether it was really a good call or not.
So I heard y'all earlier. Y'all said that y'all thought that East was in a rebuilding season.
East. I meant East Rutherford.
East Rutherford,
because that's who North Lincoln played.
There's a big difference between East Rutherford and East Lincoln.
Sorry. Let me.
East Lincoln still got that monster dog that ran over that gun.
East Rutherford, North Lincoln's opponent last week.
I was going to say he's still there. I think he got 2 more years there. So it's hardly to say he's rebuilding with that thing. You still got that monster behind.
I know they lost tonight, and as Kevin has brought up, the score does. I think what Kevin's trying. The point.
What I'm saying is it was a tight game the whole game until the last 3 minutes of the game.
That game was not a 21-point game for most of the game. That's I think
No.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
It was. I mean, you had a couple of plays that really swung it. There was the fumble in the first half that gave Hickory a short field. They went and punched it in. They took the lead, and they never did lose that lead at that point. And, I mean, they went up 21-14. That's what it was at half. And then in the second half, third quarter, I've never seen this before, but if you've heard of a 71-yard quarterback sneak, I'd love to hear it.
I just did.
No, he disappeared into the pile, and all of a sudden, he comes out of the pile. It was the backup quarterback, Tanner Wood. He was one of our – because Stover had run a play a couple plays before that, had run a ball and cramped up and went out of the ball game. And backup Tanner Wood came in. We didn't see him throw on the sideline. He rifles a bullet out to one of their wide receivers, gets close to a first down. They get the first down, and then a couple plays later, it had to have been early fourth quarter, they've got fourth down, and he just plunges in behind the center, and it looked like he was stopped. And all of a sudden, about 3-4 seconds later, he finally emerges from the pile. He had never gone down. And he's racing down the field 71 yards, gets dragged down from behind at the 1 yard line, and they punch it in 3 plays later. And that play and the fumble earlier, and then East Lincoln right after that made it a 2-score game again. Right after that, East Lincoln went 3 and out, didn't even threaten anything. And Hickory went down and scored again. And those are probably the 3 things that changed the game: the fumble, the long quarterback sneak, and then the 3 and out at the worst possible time for East Lincoln.
Good, we'll say. Ask him again. I don't think
How big was the backup quarterback?
They didn't have height and weight on their roster. I'm not sure. It's Tanner Wood, number 7. It might say it on Max Preps. I don't know, but it was not. They had no height and weight on Hickory roster.
For the eye, how big did he look for the eye? Was he a big kid or was he a small kid? The reason why I'm just wondering, did he bowl his way through the pile, or did he hide?
Well, he was in the pile, and I think just somehow the pile separated, and he came out of it. It was the weirdest thing. We're thinking, hey, fourth down, East Lincoln with a big stop there. Whoa, wait a minute. Here comes the quarterback. He's still running.
Did you say Turner Wood?
Tanner Wood.
I got a Turner Wood at number 7.
Okay, Turner Wood. Okay, I was off by a couple letters.
That's fine. I just want to make sure it wasn't brothers or something. Turner Wood number 7 is listed at 5'11", 190 in the book.
It's decent size, average, not small, not huge.
He's bigger than the Panthers
quarterback. Yeah, well, that's not saying much. I'm bigger than the Panthers quarterbacks.
Will, that's what we call the pimple play. He just squeezes and then he pops out.
He's bigger than the Panthers quarterback.
Oh God, that sounds lovely.
You got that going. You got that illustration in your head right now, don't you, David?
Sorry about that, Dave.
Let's put it this way: I don't want to slice the pizza right at the moment.
Hey, just remember Animal House. When the mayonnaise came out.
Yeah. Thank you, John Belushi.
Only time I ever seen a play like that, I remember one year I was coaching at Shelby Middle School, and we was playing Kings Mountain, and we put our third-string quarterback in, and Kings Mountain punted the ball, Will, and it rolled dead like the one. So we put our backup, our third-string quarterback in, and told him to run the quarterback sneak to run the clock out. And he ran like 90-something yards for a touchdown. And the Kings Mountain coach got mad and said, "You trying to run a score up?" I said, "We had our
quarterback sneak."
We said we had our third-string quarterback in. It's not my fault you didn't tackle him.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's the only time I ever seen something like that. I'm like, wow.
David, the only thing I'm curious about was that you talk about he got in the pile and it's at least probably to y'all seemed like 3 or 4 seconds. Was there still movement, or could there have been an argument that it was that they had stopped his forward movement and that the play should have been blown?
Well, they want to give him a chance to make the play, and it may have been moving, maybe not a whole lot, but it was moving. Yeah. Just not real fast, maybe more sideways kind of thing, and then all of a sudden just the seas parted and off he went.
And I'm sure the officials were able to see it
That's
better
why I
than we
was
could.
asking,
Yeah.
what was his size? Was it something like he was something small back that
Get behind his
he
big
in the
lineman.
crowd-
Get behind his
crowd.
big lineman.
But
Yeah.
5'11", 190, he wasn't hiding nowhere. He just moved the crowd.
Defenses couldn't even see
Well, I
him.
don't know. The pile was, everybody was kind of standing up. We lost sight of him.
Huh.
And then when the player burst out of there, I wasn't quite sure right away what was happening. And then I looked at, no, that's the quarterback, and he still got the ball. And he finally got run down by, it was either Roseboro or Shropshire. They finally dragged him down at about the half-yard line.
Yeah, I guess the monkey got on his back. He couldn't get him off.
Well, David, next week you guys got Statesville and East Lincoln, so another big game for the East Lincoln Mustangs on LincolnCounty.com. Rest of our schedule right now, I've got Bandy's Lincoln, Ford East, East Burke, Lincoln, West Iredale North, and then finish with East and North. So thank you and Scott for everything you do. Any other final thoughts before you go?
Well, whoever does Bandy's Lincolnton, watch out for trick plays from Bandy's coach Jason Barnes. He pulled off a winner last year with a ball game we did. So, and I'm sure Lincolnton will be looking for it this year. And then, again, front-loaded schedule for the Western Foothills 3A. Swapping opponents here. North Lincoln gets Hickory. East Lincoln gets Statesville. Those are usually the four best teams in the league, and that's going to really sort things out. For the most part, for a conference, barring some major upsets down the road. The only big games really after that, Statesville and Hickory, North and East.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks for giving us a call. We're going to get to some highlights and final scores here on KTC Broadcast. And have a good night, Dave, and good weekend.
All right, thanks. Glad to be here.
David Potter with Scott Tudor doing the Lincoln County Game of the Week. Folks, next week they'll have Statesville, East Lincoln. You can listen to those games on YouTube. Go to LincolnCounty.com for the links. Next week's broadcast, Chase at East Rutherford, live video on the Burns channel. Burns is off. The Burns crew is going to East Rutherford next week to do live video, Chase and East Rutherford. Kramer will be at Crest next week, live on WHS 101.5 FM. East Gaston will be coming to Cherryville on 92.9 FM. Brevard and RS Central will be the Waggy Game of the Week on 107.5 FM. Before we go to break, let me read the scores as fast as I can for you folks at home on the radio that hadn't heard some of the scores. Let's see if I can do this. Go 74-0 Burns over Highland Tech. Bessemer City 54-20 over Jefferson. Shelby 56-0 over Cherryville. Crest 68-20 over Ashbrook. East Lincoln Falls 49-28 to Hickory. Kings Mountain 41-0 over Hunter Huss. Christ the King 32-8 over Carver. Corvion Community Cardinals 48-14 over Winston-Salem Prep. Pine Lake Prep 8-0 over Mountain Island Charter. Community School of Davidson 57-0 over Bishop McGinnis. Starmount 42-0 over Allegheny. South Stokes 19-16 over Elkin. Chase wins 23-20 over Freedom. Polk County 32-0 over Patton. Hendersonville 28-6 over RS Central. Brevard 63-15 over East Rutherford. West Lincoln 36-28 at Bandy's. Maiden 36-22 at East Burke. Newton Connor 47-14 at West Caldwell. And Bunker Hill cleans out the clean sweep in the conference on the road, 45-37 at Lincolnton. Every road team in that conference won tonight. Avery County 7-0 at Rosman. AC Reynolds 50-0 at North Buncombe. Drone 38-0 over the Owen Warhorses. Mitchell 29-9 over Madison. South Point 48-0 over Kramer. North Gaston 26-20 over Forest View. 42-41 West Iredale over St. Stephen's. North Iredale 33-0 over Ford. Statesville 18-14 over North Lincoln. Watauga 56-14 over North Davidson. Sun Valley beats Alexander Central 48-0. Cuthbertson blanks South Caldwell 42-0. Oak Grove 56-13 over High Brighton. Franklin 24-8 over East Henderson. West Henderson 54-16 over North Henderson. And Pisgah 19-7 over Smoky Mountain. We'll be right back for highlights and more. KTCBroadcasting.com.
All right, with us today, we've got Stephen Churka from CSI Mechanical in Shelby.
Thank you, Calvin. Give us a call today to take advantage of our fall train promotions from now going through November the 15th. Qualify up to $1,200 in rebates. Call us today to schedule your free estimate. 704-600-6267. Also, you can come by our locations for your Crest 50/50 raffle tickets. That's 410 South Post Road in Shelby, North Carolina.
It's hard to stop a train.
When you cast a vote for Kevin Gordon for Cleveland County Commissioner, you are voting for a dedicated and experienced leader with a proven history of providing strategic direction, operational management, best practices, and service excellence. He is a strong advocate for all public safety agencies. He is proficient in maximizing efficiency of county operations and resources. He's a champion of economic development and creation of jobs with almost 40 years of public service. On March 5th, 2024, cast your vote for Kevin Gordon for Cleveland County Commissioner. This announcement paid for by the committee to elect Kevin Gordon, Cleveland County Commissioner. You know, for 41 years, S&M Sports Shop in Shelby has been serving our area with the finest in sporting goods. That's why they're known as the Athlete's Choice. And no one knew it better than our old friend, Dan Greer.
S&M is also your team outfitter for all local schools in whatever sport you play. They have letter jackets for all local high schools. Plus, S&M is your headquarters for Oakley Sunglasses. For all your athletic needs, go to S&M Sports Shop. They're located at 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Nobody does it better.
Yes, when it comes to real estate, nobody does it better than Sherry Horn of Sherry Horn Real Estate. Sherry was voted the best real estate agent and best real estate office in Cleveland County. If you're in the market to buy or sell your home, talk with Sherry Horn at Sherry Horn Real Estate. Call 704-915-5450 or visit her website at soldbysherry.com. And like her on Facebook too, and you'll see why nobody does it better.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Having trouble getting your oil changed during the week? If so, we've got good news for you. All Ray Tire Center in Cherryville, Shelby, Forest City, Dallas, and Morganton is now open on Saturdays. You don't have to wait in line for a so-called inexpensive quick lube. Now you can save time and money at All Ray Tire Center. Family owned and operated with 4 area locations on East Main Street in Cherryville, West Main Street in Forest City, West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, Lower Dallas Highway in Dallas, and on Carbon City Road in Morganton. That's All Ray Tire Center, serving their community since 1975. It's the all-new Nissan of Shelby, where they do the right thing. First time, every time. Nissan of Shelby now has new management, plus a big new inventory with new prices, giving you a whole new customer experience. Check their amazing lineup, Nissan Rogues and Muranos, and trucks like the Nissan Frontier and Titan, plus a wide range of pre-owned vehicles with special rates and pricing. Come to the all-new Nissan of Shelby, 631 South Post Road, right off Highway 74 East in Shelby. Online at nissanofshelby.com. Wet basement, wet crawl space, mold or mildew, Neeline Coal, moisture and water control can help. Let them control the moisture in your home to keep it safe from fungal growth, mold colonization, and its destruction. Neeline Coal, proudly serving the Carolinas. Call Neeline Coal today at 704-434-9411 extension 2 for your free estimate. That's Neeline Coal, moisture and water control. Ram Power Days are underway now at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby. It's prime time for exclusive deals. Power Days are here. Now get $1,500 bonus cash on all new 2023 Ram 2500 and 3500 models. But that's not all. Now get $4,000 consumer cash on most new 2023 Ram 1500 models. Don't miss Ram Power Days. Underway now at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1310 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
And we're back on the CSI Mechanical post-game show with the ministry of KTC. Dennis Davis, the Reverend, Will Boykins, the Deacon, Steve DeGree, the Usher, Kevin Hastings, Youth Minister, Chip Carter, the Bishop, and JP, Music Minister.
Yeah.
Boom!
Right. Buddy.
Put it on my phone!
Buddy, look at you. I like it.
I will remember now. I will remember now.
Cheater.
I am so excited that he got
so
that
sad.
right that time.
Although I know I spelled 2 of your names wrong, so
Yes.
I don't know if you get it right.
He didn't mess it up.
Hey, we didn't check spelling though.
He called me the Usher.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
And you got it right, JP, because I do have the Ursh Sunday at my church.
There you go.
Every third Sunday, I'm an Ursher. So you did right.
So you guys were asking about the quarterback going on the 70-some yard sneak. Quick story was getting beat by Chase, and they took me out, and they put the backup in. And I'm sitting there listening to the plays, right? And it's like, I don't know, we're on our own 25. I don't know the exact yards, okay? I know it was more than 50 yards. And in the play, he's lefty, I'm righty. Well, the play was option left for him, okay? So he could pitch it left. He called the play. They get up there, and I'm just standing on the sideline. I'm mad. I'm just mad that I'm out. You know, we're getting beat, and I just want to play. But I swear to God, he calls option left. 10 players ran option left. The quarterback ran right. And guys, because it was such a good fake from the other 10, 21 players went left. And I swear to God, getting beaten 50-0, the backup quarterback on his first play to replace me comes in, runs the wrong play for 70 yards, and scampers, not even close to being touched for a touchdown.
Hey, Kevin.
And they're like, why don't you do that, Kev? I'm like, I didn't know I was supposed to call the wrong play.
Kevin, hey, we saw that tonight at with Bessemer. Again, the long-haired offensive lineman. He was the decoy, and the quarterback went the other way.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
There you go. I'm telling you, that play. Put that, coach. Put that in the playbook. Put it in the playbook.
No way.
And whoever the decoy is has to have long hair because that's part of the decoy. That's how it works right there.
I tell our lineman, if you're going to pull out there, you might as well hit somebody. Don't hit her. He wasn't even looking at the block.
They got to have the party in the back.
Yeah,
to be.
But yeah, as soon as he said that, have you ever seen that? I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. He did it to me. It was just this so funny because everybody in the stands don't know he ran the wrong play. They just thought we ran a good play.
It looks genius.
Like, no. It's like,
that was smart. Boy, you know they should have
Now
done that the whole
21
game.
21 people were on that side of the hash mark, and that one quarterback is just. He could have walked from 40 yards. It was so bad. It was such a great fake.
Did you call timeout and take the points off the board? No.
Oh, he still talks junk about that. He does. Whenever we see each other, he's like, all you got to do is call the right play.
Kevin, your kickoff story reminds me, y'all. When y'all get a chance to go to YouTube, you need to look up. And I think at the time he was still Chad Johnson, wasn't Chad Ochocinco. But you need to look up Chad Johnson trying to block Ray Lewis.
It's
my
God, that thing.
And he goes back. I mean, he
goes.
On the sideline. He's like, ooh, I tried to block Ray. Ooh. The trainer's looking at him like, you all right? And he didn't tell him if he's all right. And he's like, I'm trying to block Ray. Ooh.
Hey, did you get the Shelby play where the running back ran like 80-something yards for a touchdown? Did you get that one?
I don't know.
Nick
all
Norris?
the ones we got. Yeah, I believe we did. I think we got them all, actually, Steve. We're going to get to them in a minute. This is you guys going up 28-0.
Yeah, Trevor only had 3 first downs the whole game.
Tristan Tate. Here's your band.
That's still unbelievable.
We let him play earlier in the red zone game. That's the Shelby marching line.
The band is getting smaller and smaller. That's not
I was about to say that's loud for 30 people.
No, I was about to say, yeah, that's.
Because that's he's on the other side of the field.
I remember when they used to march in, it'd take 15 minutes for the band to get in.
There it is. That's the run right there. Watch this. Nick Norris. Great kid, great grades. His father played for Shelby.
Good stride.
He's the backup running back. Plays linebacker, plays hard. Great. Like if you want a blitz picker, he's the guy.
Here's Land Farmer to Calvin Ramsor for the touchdown.
Get him, cuz.
Now, who did you tell me his daddy was?
Great.
Calvin. That's Calvin Jr.
His name Calvin.
Great screen right there.
Yeah. There's Christian Tate.
Calvin with a.
Just a wall of blockers, Coach. I mean, that was impressive.
In between me and
He was
watch this hit. Look at it. The whole line's right there, ready to just.
But they ain't none unblock nobody.
That was more the running back's job right there.
They ain't touched the soul. They just made a wall for him. Look, ain't nobody block nobody.
But it looked intimidating.
Trust me, Coach Wilbanks will address this.
They were chasing the white shirts down the field.
Cherryville got scared and ran away. That's
he did block, and then he blocked him in the back. Run back one more time. And then when he did block, he blocked him in the back. Watch this. Watch 77. You gonna let them block that guy? Look at it. 2-1 in the back.
77.
Hey, you're it.
Hey, that wasn't the only block in the back. Let's see.
Watch number 6 for Cherryville. Watch number 6 for Cherryville. He's the ground, starts beating the ground. I can't believe this.
How about some more from the marching band of Shelby?
That's a smart.
Yeah. I remember one time I subbed at Shelby Howard Will, and I had band the last period. And we played Winston-Salem Carver that night, right? I told the band, the English, y'all coming out. Y'all just stay on in the stands.
This made it 56-0. Tyler Morgan on the touchdown. I want to thank Shannon Allen. You can follow him at Gridiron CC. Let's jump over to the Bandy's West Lincoln game. How about this is Bandy's going up. This is West Lincoln going up 6-0. And Matt got some vertical picture. I could try to zoom in a little bit if I could, but let's see. Made it 7-6 Bandies on this little score. Both teams are just punching them in from inside the 5-yard line. A lot of this. Then we got a great picture of this referee's rear end. Jumping off up into that photo. He did everything but twerk in that picture. How about
Whoa! Right up your
Matt takes a hit for a touchdown.
Coming right in the camera.
Oh! In your living room, folks. How about a touchdown right there? If you ducked in your living room, raise your hand. All right. This is Sweat and Obregon connect again for the touchdown.
Ooh, great catch.
Nice pass.
You got moss.
Yeah, you just got mossed.
Right in our house. Let's do that again.
It must be at Bank.
Yes. Wes has got the AstroTurf now.
Just got behind him. D-back couldn't keep up. Follow.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Winix to the edge for a 3-yard run. This tied at 28-28. Winix was hurt and carried off the field, as in I don't know how to describe it, like a baby or something. Like they carried him off the field. Like it wasn't like he walked off or hobbled off. They carried him. Yeah, he came back in. Winix picks up first down and sealed the win. 36-28 West Lincoln. I want to thank Matt Chapman, sports editor of the Denver Citizen, and for giving us some highlights tonight, giving us that call. Now let's scroll back through the KTC scores. Let me get all the way. I'm going to have to. That's not it. There's Terry.
Yeah. But, see, now he's got.
Saturday morning.
You put that as a lineman, as a decoy with that hair. I'm telling you, it'll work.
That's so funny.
Terry, you got to come and defend yourself, brother.
Will, do you want me to send that so you can send that to you so you have it as your wallpaper on your phone? You want that as your background?
Terry, if you listening, come in and defend yourself.
Listen, I know he's watching, so he's watching this. He'll be on the show tomorrow morning.
That is awesome.
You still my friend, Terry.
Hey,
for the folks on the radio don't know, Terry, someone, I don't know who, photoshopped Terry's face on the former West Lincoln running back Devin Travis, and Travis had long flowing hair for you folks on the radio. Let's just put it that way. So,
And Terry doesn't?
Terry does not.
Wow.
So 1 year.
Hey, be careful. I'll have you on in a Milli Vanilli picture next
That's
year.
right. So 1 year I was down at Augusta National for a practice round of the Masters, and behind me there's this really tall, muscular woman with this long blonde hair. She got her back to me, and just a bunch of people congregating to her, and I'm like, who is this person? I said, why is it getting all this attention? This really strong, muscular woman with long hair. She finally starts to turn around as Trevor Lawrence.
I wish you were on the morning show for that one. Because I've just got this theory feeling what I say. I'll let the lineman speak. No man with long flowing hair can win a Super Bowl. And I just tell him every Saturday, if the quarterback's got long hair, he ain't gonna win a Super Bowl. Just knock him out. And Tom tells me I'm crazy about that. So I say Trevor Lawrence will not win. Cuts that thing. Chip thought he's a chick.
Well, what about a quarterback can't catch it? Can't put the extra point down Tony Romo.
He did not win a Super Bowl, did he?
Didn't win a Super Bowl. We was playing Seattle, and you didn't.
Neither did Dan Marino for Ray Finkel. The laces weren't out.
My thing was, if you're in the huddle and let's have the quarterback. If the quarterback comes in the line, all right, guys, we need these 3 yards. And he puts his hand back in the ponytail. Is that going to make you out there block harder?
Yeah, because I think I got a girl back there. Man, listen, she can throw the ball real good. So
she can throw the ball. Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you who a big man. Cam Newton is a huge guy.
He's a healthy guy.
Yes, he is.
I said, God, you a quarterback? You like a lineman?
All right, let's do the highlights before we get out of here, and then give you guys the final score. How about Thomas Jefferson in the field here against Bessemer City? Someone called pest control. Yeah, they didn't call him right.
No, unfortunately.
Pest control didn't work.
They yell at Jackets. They need the pest control.
That raid was expired tonight, I guess.
Here's Bunker Hill going up 21-0 on the pick 6. This might be the play tonight. He gone. Bears won tonight over the Wolves. I got a lot of these early on highlights are going to be Lincoln and have good internet signal over here. Here's Bunker Hill with a field goal. How about a 38-yarder?
That field looks
punching
good.
It through.
That field does look good. Kevin, if you could find it, I know you got a lot of videos. I have it in your speaking of in your living room. I've got it in your living room pick 6 somewhere down here.
Oh my Lord!
So this may be also play of the white for the quarterback. Left-handed quarterback rolls right, and then he gets destroyed by a lineman as he throws it.
Stays in there. Oh, that's
wow!
What a play! I wish I had his name on it. We'll have it in the morning.
Little left-handed Doug Flutie there.
Bessemer City strikes first. Anthony Smith taking it to the house. He going.
Bessemer City been waiting 15 years to get a back that big.
The quarterback was that huge right there.
Oh, nice sidestep.
Yes, sir.
We beat them every time we played them.
14.
Excuse me. There you go.
Giant wide receiver from Virginia. Conway Twitter.
I'm 14 while Chris
Chris scores right here, makes it 7-0 on the
Where's this coverage? It must be zone, I guess. Found a weak spot in the zone.
Yellow Jackets right here. Cameron Rice with a touchdown, made it 14-0.
Watch him power this in.
Over Bessemer City.
Yep. No, I'm not done. There you go.
Good job from Rice. Bunker Hill makes it 24-6. A little run off the left side.
I can't believe Lincoln got beat by Bunker.
How about scoop and score for the first score of the game? Freedom and Chase.
Wow. Got a convoy there with him.
3, 6, 7.
I think
Patriots
that was
made it. Do what?
I think that was the Patriots coaching staff. I heard ball come out of it.
This is Crest making it 34-7 off the handoff up the middle. Chase makes it 8-6, 28-yard pass. Watch this pass going up top. Great.
Yeah, that's very nice touch.
That made Chase 8-6 leaders. Gavin Chastain sneaks it in for Bessemer.
Here you
This
go.
is Walt McCoy on the pick 6.
Coming right at you. This is right at the end of the first half.
We never saw the receiver, so we don't know if he threw it out. He threw it to 18 is what he threw it straight to.
We know he threw the interception.
He was about to escort one of the homecoming contestants out on the field there after that pick 6.
Here's a tip touchdown pass for Ashbrook. Best defenders tip it. Ashbrook catches it. And he takes off. And Will, this is what I wanted to point out.
Well,
Look at the
sometimes you're
fans
the
at
bug,
Ashbrook.
sometimes you're the windshield. But Chris, what was
That's
it?
Ashbrook's home
They had
side.
scored 3
Right.
touchdowns in
Oh,
time
wow.
of possession of less than a minute.
That is a 1,300 student home side with about 75 people. Like that, I don't know. You guys
Most of
got
them was parents, probably parents.
show up at the game. There was of the cheerleaders in the band.
That's right.
Well, they're in Gastonia. They got better things to
couldn't
do,
have been
you
more.
know.
What are they going to do? The trampoline park?
No. They're going to be down at the crack house. Never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
There's a return.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my. Look at in-depth strides.
I was about to say he's eating up a lot. I agree with you, Dennis. He's eating up a lot of
Number 3,
lot of real estate with every stride.
13. Then the Wolves cut the lead 24-19 with this play. Handoff left side. How about some music from the Chase Trojans band?
Is it just my eyes, or are they bigger than the Shelby band?
I don't
know what we have to do to believe that. I've never seen it. It's the same at the boarding school.
Mom and Dad Mom was in the band at Cherville in 1974. 5 and 7. I think they had.
We used to have a big band, or when Ray Hopper was band director at Crest, they had a big band.
You had to know how to play the horse. When Ray was there, that was it.
Shelby lost a good teacher when John Champley.
Why didn't the defender put his hands up?
Oh my!
What is the defense?
Right. If you're not too busy looking at him, why don't you try and defend him?
Hey man, that's that guy that's going to North Carolina.
Can I get an autograph?
It's a little.
He got state there. He rolled over, but he didn't do nothing when he rolled over.
That is not the part of the field where you're like, oh, if he catches it, I'm bringing him down.
I think Vardy thinks he's going to knock the ball out because Vardy didn't put his hands up the last play. He was surprised. Like, why did he get me? I got no explanation of that one. That's a safety's dream. I'm going to go pick it, or I'm taking your head off.
He's coming right at me. I'm going to take his head off.
What's this one?
Punt return for Cameron Rice.
You got 2 roly-polies on here.
I got to get out of here as quick as I can. What was that?
That's somebody's calling.
Somebody's phone's vibrate. Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Read some scores real quick. Chip, I'll let you try to handle these as fast as you can.
You got it. All right.
Play some marching band.
Okay.
Oh, excellent. Just to mess with my concentration also. Here we go. Burns 74 shuts out Highland Tech 74-0. Bessemer City 54-20 over Thomas Jefferson. Now he's moving the scores on me. Shelby shuts out Cherville 56-0. Crest 68, Ashburn 20. Hickory defeats East Lincoln. Hickory Red Tornadoes beat East Lincoln 49-28. Kings Mountain shuts out Hunter Huss 41-0. Christ the King 32. Carver 8. Corvian Community 48. Winston-Salem Prep 14. In the big score of the night, Pine Lake Prep 8, Mountain Island nothing.
Hold on, Chip. Will wanted to hear the bell. There's your bell, Will.
You got
last week. He wanted to hear the bell.
You got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Community School of Davidson 57, Mission McGinnis nothing. Starmount shuts out Allegheny 42-0. South Stokes 19, the Elkin Bucking Elks 16. Chase defeats Freedom 23-20. Polk County shuts out Patton 32-0. Hendersonville 28, RS 6. Brevard 63, East Rutherford 15. West Lincoln defeats Bandy's 36-28. Maiden 36, East Burke 22. Newton Conover 47, West Caldwell 14. Bunker Hill defeats Lincolnton 45-37. Avery County shuts out Rosman 7-0. AC Reynolds shuts out North Buncombe 50-0. Drawn shuts out the Owen Warhorses 38-0. Mitchell 29, Madison 9. South Point defeats Kramer 48-0. North Gaston squeaks out a win against Forest View 26-20. West Iredale with a close one defeats St. Stephen's 42-41. North Iredale shuts out Ford 33-0. Statesville wins a highly contested game 18-14 over North Lincoln. Watauga 56, North Davidson 14. Sun Valley shuts out Alexander Central 48-0. Cuthbertson with 42, South Caldwell nothing. Oak Grove 56, High Brighton 13. Franklin defeats East Henderson 24-8. West Henderson defeats county rival North Henderson 54-16. And rounding things out, Pisgah defeats Smoky Mountain 19-7.
Your new top 10: East Lincoln 10, Maiden 9, Bandy's 8, West Iredale 7, West Lincoln 6, Bunker Hill 5, East Gaston 4, Crest 3, Kings Mountain 2, and Hickory 1. Final thoughts to you guys across the board as I finish it up? Steve?
I just want to say, glad we got another win. We got to keep it rolling. We got Thomas Jefferson next week, and I'm gonna put that playing coach when I pull a guard, don't block nobody.
Dennis.
I hear the train coming round the bend. Burns and Shelby, I don't know when. Kings
game.
Mountain and Crest, I don't know when, but we got South Point to go over before we get there.
Will the Thrill buy a car from me tomorrow?
Buy a car from me tomorrow. Come and see me.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. KDCBroadcasting.com.
We out.
only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I